I think that's one of the things that people are most afraid of with MS, is having to give up and sacrifice portions of their life. You don't have to.
Mobility is challenging, and when you struggle with mobility, it's an internal struggle, but a part of it is also external because the world can see it now, and that makes you vulnerable.
When I had my initial decline before I was diagnosed, I went from being a jogger to jogging 6 miles, maybe 4 days a week, to being wheelchair bound in almost 3 months.
Mobility affected me, and it started with foot drop. Every few steps I would take, the signal would skip, and my foot would skip, and it would look like I would trip.
In terms of my mobility with MS, it's run the gamut. When I first got diagnosed, I had a cane. As my hip flexors got weaker and it was harder for me to lift my legs up and down and forward and backward, I started using a wheelchair around the house. And it's not that I can't walk, it's just that it's easier not to. And if I'm gonna direct my energy somewhere, I'd rather direct my energies on the thing that's more important. If it's the difference between not being able to leave the house and being stuck in the house all the time, or using a wheelchair, use a wheelchair.
It's okay to use mobility aids if you need arm stilts or a walker or a wheelchair. You'd be surprised, but nobody's judging you and nobody thinks less of you. So if you notice that you're stronger with a walker, you use that walker, because eventually, if you use that walker enough, you won't need the walker and you will be walking straight on your own. Stairs are the one thing when I approach, I freeze. It's hard to get through that moment knowing you need a handrail and you're nowhere near the handrail and you can't just grab anyone's arm, but you can't walk down even 3 steps. Don't get scared. Don't tighten up and tense. Whenever I feel myself doing that, I kind of just try to bring myself back and be like, it's fine. Walk all the way over to that handrail and you grab it, because you have to get down those steps. It's weirder if you stand at the top of the stairs and stare at them, so you just have to address the situation, address the limitation, and you do you, and you do whatever you need to get yourself stronger.
Things may be more difficult, I won't say that they won't, particularly when you're in that phase of figuring out where things are, where things are going. But one, it's important to sort of know the people around you to help. 2, that might be important to be able to make modifications to your environment. And 3, just planning to get out and do things.
Mobility was a whole entire journey. I would say it took 10 years to get to where I am now. I thought my fate was really going to be in a wheelchair, not climbing ropes or doing obstacle course races. When I started CrossFit, I couldn't jump over a piece of tape that was on the floor. And now I'm jumping on 18-inch boxes. And that just happened because I showed up and did a little bit, piece by piece, every day. When I started my journey, and really with mobility, I wasn't able to walk up a flight of stairs or really walk to the street corner. And now I'm able to participate in climbing to the top of Rockefeller Center, which is 66 flights of stairs. I move forward just knowing to take one step at a time. Just show up, take one step at a time, and you'll get there.